Hey guys, Kevin Cleary here with a knife video, and if you're a knife guy like me, you can probably appreciate knives that are really well suited to their role. Okay, you can probably appreciate knives that are exceptionally well made, that just make you appreciate the level of quality and attention to detail that knife makers can put into something. Maybe you appreciate knives that have interesting, cool features, different milling patterns, different colors, still extremely well made, extremely high quality, but then in addition to that, you're also getting sort of some uniqueness. Okay, another good example of that would be this knife. This is the Spedico Endura with a Damascus blade, titanium handle, and it's a nice looking knife. It's pretty cool. Then there are knives that, really put a lot of those things together, extremely high-end manufacturing practices, really interesting dynamic looks, lots of cool features going on. And all of these knives are really nice and highly appreciated probably by any knife guy. But then there are knives that are special. They're knives that are unique, that are doing things that other knives just aren't doing, and that just add a level of joy. And this knife is one of those. So this knife is, of course, a Sebenza 25, but not just any Sebenza 25. Look at that blade. That is one of the most attractive Damascus blades that I have seen. I hope that it's coming through well. It wants to be a little bit reflective, which is odd, but absolutely gorgeous. Sorry about that. Absolutely beautiful finish on that blade. Attractive Damascus pattern, just extremely well done. Look over on this side. Now, what is really cool is that they have milled the titanium on this side, or etched it maybe, to create a pattern that is not exactly the same, but certainly similar and really ties the blade together. Then they've put a polished finish on this rather than the sandblast or bead blast that we're used to seeing on a Sebenza 25. This knife is visiting from a friend, and I've got to say, if you're watching this, thank you so much for sharing this. I won't say his name just in case. I didn't get permission beforehand, so I don't want to share who he is with everybody. But yeah, he was kind enough to send this knife to me so I could check it out and of course share it with you guys. Now, if you are interested in the Sebenza 25 or even the Inkosi, I think both are great blades. There are lots of great things to love about the Sebenza. They're just extremely well done. They're very practical, very carryable, useful knives. And I'll just remind you of some of my favorite features on that. Of course, the ceramic ball detent the ceramic ball lock face is awesome. The jimping on the back of the blade and the ramp is just exactly where it needs to be. The blade grind on this is really, really cool because they do what they call a large hollow grind, and essentially it means a hollow grind that's going to give really nice slicing performance, but it's just simply a little thicker than a lot of hollow grinds, which means it's also going to make a very robust blade. Now the lanyard has been left on this one, and since we're looking at this, the owner has a really cool carry setup for it. He has this case, which originally was a Sebenza 21 case, and he was able to remold that leather a little bit, but it also has this pretty cool clip installed on the back, which allows it to be carried on a belt really, really reliably. And of course, if you're carrying a knife like this, they don't come cheap, so it's not a knife you want to lose. It's also not a knife that you want to carry in your pocket with anything else. At least I certainly wouldn't. Wanted to just take a few minutes and share this exceptional blade with you. Now that we're kind of here, I'm not going to give you specs on this, but let's just quickly go through the features. So first of all, you've got this very, very nice looking Damascus blade with that large hollow grind drop point that Sebenzas are so well known for. And this is just an extremely useful blade shape, although I'm going to guess that this one probably doesn't get a ton of use. The thumb stud on this is one of my complaints about Sebenzas. I always feel like, the thumb stud could be improved in some way. It's a little sharp to just push straight down on it. If you come up underneath it, it's fine. It does catch your finger, but it's not my favorite of all thumb studs in the world. It's very functional though, and I'm sure there'll be some Sebenza owners who, you know, want to weigh in and say it's the best thumb stud that's ever been invented on planet Earth, and that's fine. If you like it, that's great. The action on these is always very nice. You know, it's not usually it doesn't usually feel like a bearing pivot, but it does feel like quality. When you open and close this knife, you just go, yeah, wow, that feels great. Really, really well done. And that's, you know, any Sebenza, even though they don't all have, if you take these apart, there are some slight differences in the pivot screws on some of them, but they're all amazing. Ceramic detent ball, again, adds to that feel. And then, of course, the typical Sebenza handle, which is comfortable. I definitely prefer the 25 handle with the finger choils in it. I think that's a really, really nice touch. And of course, this one still has the lanyard. Very simple but reliable construction. One last point about Sebenzas, and that is that they actually ship with the tools to take them apart, which I think it says that the maker has a lot of confidence in their level of fit and finish, their level of quality, and their tolerances. So very, very much appreciated. Great knife. Not easy to find or easy to afford, but thank you so much for allowing us to check this out a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you soon.